article. And now let's get to watch a video clip of a news about Typhoon Haiyan.
The Philippines, where officials fear the death toll could hit 10,000 after one of the strongest storms ever cut a devastating path of destruction across the country. We're now getting a clearer picture this morning of the extent of the
Probably this is a time for you to see how Philippines looked like when there was a typhoon.
Massive damage caused by the super typhoon. ABC's Ginger Z is here with the latest. And Ginger, unfortunately, these numbers are expected to climb.
Yeah, that is, it's stunning too. I mean, the actual storm is now well west of the Philippines, but now we get into the second storm, the part where relief can't get to the people that need it. They don't have water. They're searching for food, communication, transportation, and power all shut down. Beaten and trampled. This morning, we get a closer look at the fresh wounds behind that historic storm in the Philippines. And the terrifying reality of what it looked like at the moment of impact. The early numbers are staggering. The Associated Press is reporting nearly 10,000 people are feared dead. Amidst the ongoing drama of rescues, the Philippine government says at least 150 are confirmed dead and more than 9.5 million people were affected by Super Typhoon Haiyan. It will go down as one of the strongest storms to ever make landfall. I spoke to my husband earlier that day. I had faith that he would make it, but maybe he lost his will to live. He was telling me there was water everywhere and that there was no time anymore. So many still flooded, without power, water, and communication. Roads choked with debris. Relief could take days. What will I do now? My house is destroyed. I didn't anticipate the winds to be that strong. With winds up to 170 miles per hour, Haiyan brought storm surge as high as trees, leveling towns and villages. We just made mass graves for 57 people who died. The number is still going to increase because we have not been able to talk to the other towns because there's no means of transportation. And as time passes, more heartbreaking images, but I do have some good news. The storm now heading toward mainland here, Vietnam into China. And the great news is it has really weakened, still has not yet made another landfall, and won't as much of a typhoon at all, really just like a Category 1 hurricane, if that, so 75-mile-per-hour winds. The rain, though, could still cause quite a bit of mudslides, 6+ inches expected there in southeastern China. We'll have much more on the nation's weather, including a lot of cold. Dan?
But those images out of the Philippines are horrifying, and we're just starting to learn.
Okay. So those ones are actually from footages from Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines. It has been considered as the strongest typhoon in the Philippines. Okay? Now, you have actually seen that some of the people in the Philippines evacuate from their houses. They go to evacuation centers. But a lot of Filipinos cannot really leave their houses. They don't want to go out of their houses. And so they just stay where? On the roof of the house. So when they are on the roof of the house, they are actually already wet with the typhoon. And a lot of them are getting sick. And because they needed medicines, they needed food, what do? According to what you read, what do? Because they needed food, very good, they grab or they steal. So they become, what's the word? Very good, looter. They become looter. What do you mean by that? Because they are so devastated, their houses are devastated, they are damaged. So they go to grocery stores, to shops, and open the shops, break the glass of the shop, and get all the food that they can get. So they instantly steal. One more thing that happened in the Philippines during Typhoon Haiyan is that a lot of people from other countries, even Taiwan, went to Philippines and have given a lot of donations. Imagine 10,000 people died. So there was flood. Strong winds were heating. Buildings are being broken. Imagine that kind of situation. Now, as you read a while ago, and as have you watched the film, now we have there, I want you to express your reactions. There are different emojis here. Please point out, how do you feel about what you read? How do you feel about what you watched? May I have A? Okay, please come here in front and point to me. What's your feeling? What's your feeling when you read the news? May I see? So what does that mean?
Scary.
Oh, she's scary. You're scared because of?
Because of the devastating situation for the environment in Philippines.
Okay. Have you also experienced the same here in Taiwan?
Not really.
Not yet. And I hope it doesn't happen, right? I hope it doesn't happen because it's really devastating. Thank you. Thank you. Next up, letter B. Letter B. Please point out your please point out your feeling. What's your reaction? I thought this one. Okay. No. So this one. Why? What does this emoji mean?
Sad. Sad to cry.
Sad to cry because
Because of that's dead.
a lot of dead people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Destroyed.
Are you also afraid that it might happen in Taiwan?
We have typhoon, but not as serious as we do.
Okay, so if you have typhoon here, what kind of face do you have?
Typhoon?
Yeah, if ever, just like this. Okay, so not this one.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. Last one. May I have letter E. Letter E. Please point. What is your reaction? What's your feeling? Same. You're sad. Okay. Why are you sad when you saw or when you read the news? Many people dead. There are a lot of dead people. So thank you. There are a lot of dead people. Actually, when you walk on the streets, you could see people lying. And these are dead. These are what we call corpse. Okay? These are dead bodies. I guess we can have one more. Okay, we're done. D. Letter D. Okay. Please point out, how did you feel about it? Okay. So what is that?
Shocked and terrified.
Shocked and terrified. I like the word. It's terrified. Why were you shocked and terrified?
There are so many people dead, and the survivors turn to winter. That shocked me.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. There are two things that he said. A lot of people were dead, and a lot of people also turned into looters. They had no choice. There are no stock. There is no supply of food, right? Okay. Now, considering all those feelings, I suppose you have already felt how it is to be in the Philippines because of that news. Why do we actually have news? May I ask you that question? Why do we have news? Who among you watches news at home? Who watch news or who read newspapers? Anyone? No one reads newspaper? Who reads or who watches news from the television? From the television, raise your hand. If you watch news. Okay, only one. Okay. What is the significance of news? What is the importance of news? Why do we have news in the first place? Letter F. Why do we have news? Or what is the importance of news? Very good. That's the reason why we have global news. So that even if we are here in Taiwan, I would know what is happening in the Philippines. If I'm in the Philippines, I know what's happening in America, what's happening in Singapore, what's happening in the whole world. That's the significance of news. Now, because this is a class for News English, let's try to go to the elements of news. Okay? What are the elements of news? Number one is importance, or we also call this as consequence. Please read to us. All together, importance, go. Okay, so the reason why we have news is because it is important. It educates and informs us. There is no news if it doesn't inform. That's not news. So for example, I'm writing about my day, what happened to my day. Is that considered a news? No, it's just for entertainment. It's blog. But news has an element which is called importance. Does it inform? Does it educate? If it informs and educates, that's also news. And is it important to us? That's always number one element of news. Is it important? Does it matter? Okay? Next. Examples are actually the bombings at the Boston Marathon, shootings at Sandy Hook Elementary, and sequestration, and the war in Afghanistan. So if there are wars in other countries, it's important, right? That's why it's news. There's news. Next element. Interest. Altogether, interest. Interest that arouses. Why do we talk about something? Because we are interested. We don't talk about things that we are not interested in, right? We only talk about things which has a lot of interest. So like that news, if it's not interesting, it's not news at all. We only talk about something if it's interesting. And all news are news because they are interesting. Examples: conjoined twins undergoing surgery. Oh wow, to be separated. Like, if I would see conjoined twins and then they will be separated, that's something interesting. So I would read about the news. How about the Amanda Knox court case, or the death of Margaret Thatcher, or a water skiing squirrel? So some things which are interesting. Okay? These are what we wanted to be in a news. Third element, altogether, timeliness. Again, timeliness. Because news, from the word itself, it's new. It's new. So if a news is given to you 1 week after it happened, it's no longer news. And because it's not anymore new. It's already old. Okay? News is something which is given to you at that moment, or the earliest time possible. Because if news are delayed, you won't listen anymore. Because it already happened a long time ago. If I would tell you news about 1835, year 1835, do you think you would still read it? You would read it because it's part of history, but you don't read it because it's part of current events. Current events news are actually current events. And from the words current, it means now. It's happening now. So, example, what about a story regarding a change in tax law about the time we're all trying to get our taxes done? So for example, we are now paying our tax, and at the same time, there was a law about changing the tax, or about tax reform, or changing the law of tax, then that's something that's timely, right? Because we are experiencing it. Why does Typhoon Haiyan become timely right now, even at the moment? Because it affects us. It greatly affects us. Number 4. Proximity. All together. Again, repeat. Proximity. Go. Proximity. Okay. Pertains to local issues, trends, or events. Proximity is the distance. So, if I say local issues, it should be happening here in Taiwan. For example, are you all Taiwanese, or is there any foreign student that we have now? You're from Hong Kong. So if there are 2 newspapers, one from Hong Kong, one from Taiwan, what will you read? Hong Kong, because that's your local. That is where she comes from. So she's more interested on where she comes from because the proximity. If you are in Taiwan, you are all Taiwanese here, except from her. You all have probably a news about Taiwan and a news about Philippines. Which will you read first? Don't tell me Philippines. Which should you read first? Taiwan, right? And then after, because it's the proximity is there, because I'm here in Taiwan. And later I could read the news about the Philippines after I read mine. Examples are property taxes, crime, public schools, and garbage collection, issues in your local community. And what about a family from your community who lost a loved one in the Japan tsunami? Who among you have already visited Japan? Anyone who went to Japan already? Okay, good, 2. Actually, in Japan, way back 2012, when I went to Japan, I visited Fukushima, and I visited the cemetery where the tsunami actually hit the people. It was that moment when I said it's worthy of a news. Because when I was in the Philippines, I don't really care about what happened in Japan. I don't care about the tsunami that happened in Japan. But when I went to Japan and I saw the cemetery, I saw the preserved houses with a lot of broken glasses, I said, oh my God, this is worthy to be a news. Why? Because my proximity, I'm already there. So I can already relate. Clear? Next, the last element is prominence. All together, go. Prominence. Okay, concerns famous people or well-known events. If that event is not well-known, sometimes you don't read about the news. And if it's something which is famous, like who's your favorite Taiwanese actor or actress or celebrity?
No, you should ask Christine.
Okay, your favorite celebrity in Taiwan?
No.
None.
Yeah, no.
Why? You know, when we were kids, just to give you some anecdote, when we were kids, probably when I was in my 10 years old or 12 years old, you might know about Meteor Garden. It's a Taiwanese movie, or it's a series from Taiwan where the F4. If you know F4, yeah, Sunshine, Mingzu, Wesley, Vanisu, and one more, Ken, something like that. Yeah, these are already old celebrities. But why do I read news about the F4, even if I'm not from Taiwan? Because they are famous. So sometimes, one element of news is that you read it or you watch it because it's famous. Okay. So I hope those elements are clear to you. What's the first element again?
Important.
Importance. Very good. Second element?
Interest.
Okay, good. Third element? Third?
Time.
If it's happening now, it's timeliness. Fourth? If you are near, if you're local, it's proximity. And the last, if it's famous? Prominence. Okay. Now, having said all those, a while ago, you actually saw faces and video footages of what happened in Typhoon Haiyan. And now you can see this. These are actually what happened. These are photos taken during Typhoon Haiyan. Now let's have an activity. We call this as Caption Me. Okay? Probably, I'll ask you to put one title for each photo. One title. One word to describe the photo. Or one title. Okay, anyone who wants to describe this, help us, we need food. Just one word. Anyone? Volunteer?
One word.
One word. One word title.
Starving.
Starving. Good. Let's have that. Okay. We have that now. How about the second one? How about this? Photo number 2. What do we want to have? Give me one word which can be a caption for this. These are actually army. Very good. Rescue. Next, how about the third photo? Oh, that's so touching. Probably we can hear from the others at the back. How about you? This is actually a father carrying his
Family.
daughter. So let's hear from the gentleman. What one word can we have for this one? Family. Okay. We can also have family. And last, how about from this side? How can we have this? Look at the girls. They're actually smiling. But on their background, it's a damaged house, decimated house, devastated house. But all of the kids are still smiling. What word can we have as caption? Anyone? From the group of girls here? Just one word. How can we have a title for this or a caption? They are still smiling even if everything is already destroyed. Very good. Hope or hopeful. Okay, I actually like how you put your captions. Look at this. Starving. It really happens in the Philippines. During that time, that's the reason why there are a lot of looters, because they are all starving and they need food. And look at the background. These are waste. So they are going to dump sites, the waste, the garbages, and looking if there are some extra food inside the plastics. So that happened during Typhoon Haiyan. Also, rescue also happened. A lot of foreigners came to our country and helped those who are trapped in their houses, those who cannot go out of their houses because the house are already damaged. Family. This is very emotional because even the old have to carry the older ones. Even the young carry the old. Gone are the days you can only see the father carrying the daughter, but you haven't seen a picture of a daughter carrying the grandmother. Okay? So a lot of things are happening. But even if everything is damaged, even if everything is affected, even if the typhoon really struck us worse than expected, we still have hope. Because kids, Filipinos, are known to be very resilient. And when we say resilient, we are always hopeful. We always wanted things. We always see that there are better things to come. We are resilient. Filipinos still smile. We all love to smile. We are known to be people who always laugh, even if we're not that rich. Even if a lot of Filipinos are poor, we always have that smile. Even if typhoon comes, after typhoon, we play along the streets. Even if earthquakes come, even if a lot of problems come along the way, we manage to greet people, we manage to smile, we manage to laugh. Because Filipinos are known to be hopeful, resilient, and most of all, happy. Now, having considered all these, and you have captioned these photos. A while ago during the first activity, we actually had the eco auction, right? We have the eco auction. Can you raise all the things that you have bought? May I see? Can you raise them? Okay. You actually bought a lot a while ago. And because you bought it, because you like it. Now, let's try to see who bought the air conditioner.
Please come here.
Please come here.
Because you bought the air conditioner. Now let's reveal the consequence of what you bought. Please read. Emissions from hydrofluorocarbon, which is often found in air conditioner and refrigerators, are potent in contributing to climate change by depleting the ozone layer.
Thank you. You bought air conditioner because you like it. But you know what? Air conditioner actually depletes the ozone layer. That's the reason why it becomes hotter and hotter every day. Because the ozone layer is already very thin. Now, next. Who bought the paper? Please come. Read.
We use a huge quantity of paper in our work at schools and in office. Have we ever thought about the number of trees that we use in a day?
Okay, thank you. We use a huge quantity of paper in our work at schools and in offices. Have you ever thought about the number of trees that we use in a day? We have spent a lot of papers right now. But there are also a lot of trees being cut for the papers. Now, let's try to see this. Who bought the iPhone 8 Plus? Anyone? Oh God, you bought a lot. Okay.
Electricity is the main source of power in urban areas. All our gadgets run on electricity generated mainly from thermal power plants. These thermal power plants are run on fossil fuels and are responsible for the emission of huge amounts of greenhouse gas and other pollutions.
Okay. Pollutants. Okay, thank you. So these are all the effects of what you bought. One more. Who got the airplane? Plane ticket. Okay, I'll be the one to read. Just one return flight from London to New York produces a greater carbon footprint than a whole year's personal allowance needed to keep the climate safe. So if ever you go from one country to the other and make use of airplanes, that causes a lot in the carbon footprints, which would actually make our environment worse. Who bought the shopping? Shopping. Who among you got the shopping? $5,000 worth of shopping. Okay, now I'll be the one to read it. Thank you. We generate large quantities of waste in the form of plastics that remain in the environment for many years and cause damage. It's not actually bad to have shopping, but as much as possible, make use of lesser plastics. Okay? Because plastics are considered to be decaying for thousands of years. How about this? The wardrobe. Okay, actually for wardrobe, factories are usually powered by coal, which pollutes the air. Plus, there are waste products in forming goods like excess dye in coloring shirts. So if we buy more clothes, we're actually contributing to climate change. Car. Who bought the car? I guess this is from one gentleman. You bought the car, right? Okay. Cars, buses, and trucks are the principal ways by which goods and people are transported in most of our cities. These are run mainly on petrol or diesel, both fossil fuels. If also agricultural lands are also dangerous. Why? Because the crops use fertilizers. And when there's a runoff of fertilizer, that actually causes a lot of harm in the environment. If you want to build a house, you make use of timber. And you cut a lot of trees for your house. So see, more houses, more effects in the environment. And ranching, if you have a lot of meat, a lot of like, say, pig, cows, sheep, goat, they have methane. Methane is another important greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. And they are, about 1/4 of all methane emissions are said to come from domesticated animals. So cows, goats, pigs. And once they actually eat, and when you are taking care of these animals, they actually produce methane. And it depletes, it also has an effect on climate change. Now, considering all these, do you think climate change is happening? Do you think climate change is real? Yes or no? Maybe. Maybe yes, maybe no. Some politicians says no. Some politicians say yes. But it doesn't mean that if it's not happening here, it's not happening in the world. It doesn't mean that if Taiwan is very nice and you don't feel the effects of climate change, that doesn't mean it's not happening in other countries. Because I tell you, climate change is happening. A lot of the glaciers are now melting. There is an increase in sea level. There are a lot of animals migrating. And it becomes hotter and hotter every day. These are all effects of climate change. Do you think climate change, who do you think are the causes of climate change? Is it the animals? Is it the gadget? Is it the plane? Is it the house? What causes? What causes? Very good. People. It's human consumption. The more we want, the more we buy, the more we use our resources, the more we devastate our environment. Okay. So, because you're only 7 in the class, I'd like one to make a news headline. After 10 years, how do you view the world in terms of the environment? Construct a news headline that expresses what you want the world to be after a decade. A while ago, there was a news about Typhoon Haiyan. After 10 years, what do you think is the news? May I ask letter? Letter A, again and again. If you're to make a news headline after 10 years, how do you want to see the world?
How?
What do you want to read after 10 years in a newspaper? Because the one you're reading now is Typhoon Haiyan hits the Philippines, 10,000 dead. After 10 years, what headline do you want? What news do you want? Example, scientist resolves climate change by inventing a machine that reduces carbon footprint. See, for example, that's a headline. So what do you think for you? What do you think should happen after 10 years? Anyone? I guess she has an idea. Anyone? Anyone from the group? What do you want to see after 10 years? Still thinking? Very good. That can be world peace. World peace is real. Probably. Because if we have peace, we always have our actions together. And since he mentioned about world peace, because if we take care in the Philippines, if we take care of the environment, and Taiwan takes care of your environment too, and other countries don't take care, then what will happen to the world if we don't have peace, if we don't have consistency in our actions? Having said that, may I all request you to stand and have this last activity. It's very easy and it's just very, very quick. May I ask you all to please come here on the board. Please come here in front, all of you. Okay, so we'll be playing a game. All of you should actually hold this. All of you should hold this. And this ball should go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And these steps, these numbers are actually what you mean by saving the environment. But one challenge is it should not go into the hole. Got it? Got it? Alright. Ready? And all of you should hold it. Ready? Go. 1. Oh! Again. You're only given 3 minutes to finish all the 8. Ready? And go. 2. 3. 3. That's 3. 4. Go to 4. 4. Oh my God! Again, repeat from 1. You should complete 1 to 8. Ready? 1. Last 2 minutes. You should complete 8. Double time. Help each other. Help each other. Careful. 2. So where did you end a while ago? 4, right? Probably we can start with 4. 4. Go. 4. So we only have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 5. Go. Last 2 minutes. You have to finish. 4. 5. Okay, you're in the 5. Now you go to 5. 5 to 8. 5. Go. So you can now start at 6. Careful. 6. Okay, you reach 7. Now you go to 8. 7 to 8 to complete it. Okay, good. May I have a great hand? Maybe all clap for each other. Thank you. Okay, what does the ball symbolize? What does the ball symbolize? This is the earth. This is the earth. And as you go from one number to each other, you wanted to preserve the earth. But as you go from one area to another, there are threats. These are the threats, the holes. If you will not take care, all of you represent each country. If you will not take care of the earth, if someone is not cooperating, then the ball will be in the hole. And that means the earth will fall down. Again, what does that mean? Cooperation and unity is very important. He is right when he said that the headline is world peace. Because if we have peace, toleration begins. If we tolerate differences, communication begins. If communication begins, consistency comes in. And if we're consistent with our actions, we have unity, we have cooperation, and we can save the earth. And this news about global news on Typhoon Haiyan, on climate change, will no longer be the news 10 years from now. If only we could put our things or our acts together. Alright? And for your assignment, update your social media accounts by posting your personal pledges for the environment and to encourage your friends to start shifting to green habits. What status would you like to put in your social media accounts? Clear? And don't forget to put the hashtag. Okay, hashtag is Global News Climate Change. Okay, Global News Climate Change. And don't forget to tag us. Okay, you can have my name there. I'm John Kit Masigan, and you can add me on Facebook. And you can also, so that I would see your social media campaign, you can email me, or you could just add me up on Facebook. Okay? And then let me see if you have done your assignments. Is that okay? Is that okay? Okay, may I ask everyone to raise your hands? Raise your hands. Right hand. And then say, good job. Good job. Okay, because you all did good job for today. Again, thank you so much. And as we say in the Philippines, salamat and 谢谢. Thank you.